What's going on, everyone? Vampyr Gaming here, and today we're going to talk about the latest increases across a suite of cards and a little bit of speculation. If you haven't seen the EB02 Enel, save yourself some trouble. The card made me sick to my stomach. Just kidding. But before we dive in, if you can just do me a favor, click right here. Link in the YouTube video description will take you to TCGPlayer to shop the singles from this video, or if you're just looking to pick up any sort of cards, just give me a click. Just give me a click. Even if you aren't going to buy some right now, just click it anyways. Helps me out a ton. Helps support the channel with just a click with any TCG purchase you may make. So greatly appreciate that. Now, first, I did want to talk about this. I talked about this in a previous video and how I felt like it was a super huge value. You're getting all of these all leaders essentially at $10. If you buy this versus just buying it, yeah, you don't get it until Jan, but if you bought the super rares and bought these, you get really cool copies. It's sold out now. Sold out now in premium Bandais, so kudos if you got some. This sat up there for a very long time, but they officially revealed the Don and the box. I know they say now designing, but these are the official designs. So just wanted you to be able to see these because you get some very cool stuff and you get these alts, you get leaders, you get just a ton of really cool stuff, and it was very, very affordable relative to the actual costs of these alts. So yeah, just wanted to highlight that just because, again, you know, I think that adds a lot of value here since they've sold out. It did take quite a while, was up for 25 days. So that's cool. But yeah, so first up, we want to talk about Enel. As you can see, there's an insane amount of sales, and now cheap as a $70 going up to $80. That's how crazy this card is. This card was $40. This card that's releasing is so hyped. Enel is now $70, and this is pretty much an all yellow market watch. I did try to sprinkle in a couple other things because, you know, I don't like to just talk about yellow. But, yeah, yellow is absolutely crushing it right now in the market. I mean, you see these Shirahoshis, too. I ain't going to click on it, but they're $15. I'm going to click on it. Yeah. I don't know if you're going to play this $20. This Shirahoshi is now $20. So yellow everywhere is just flying. The whole color, and we're going to cover everything. I can't believe this. I think I just got rid of my alt Shirahoshi. So that's great. Maybe I still have, but I think I traded it. Maybe I even sold it. Yamato, premium reprint, the best. $100. This card was one of the most sought after cards from the set. Started off at 50, has slowly made its way 80s. Now we're looking at 100. There's not a lot of these. This card is very hard to pull. Sales in the $90 range. This card is truly beautiful. I'm so sad that I don't have one, and I will probably never own one. I have 5 boxes. I won 4 from the events that I've live streamed. Be sure to hit subscribe if you're interested in competitive One Piece content. But yeah, I've won 5 booster boxes. I don't see any reason to open it, but this is slightly convincing. But if I don't pull it, which is it's not likely that I pull it because I'll get 10 alts from the suite of alts, I don't like it. Now, here's a pick. I actually am probably about to buy one. Again, premium reprint booster, kind of like, it's hard to pull these alts because there's just so many. And these cards are showing time and time again to be a little expensive. I think beige, or Beji, it's Beji, Capone Beji, but everybody says beige. And so I feel like we've just all accepted his rebrand name. $12. I think this is a steal just for a PRB alt, just because of what they are and how hard they are to pull. Also going to talk about the regular one. The regular one is more. I feel like that just should not be the case. So I think that this one should be more than this one. However, you know, that's subjective. This one is very cool. This one is less cool, but it is PRB, and my PRB thesis is a little bit more leaning towards PRB. Now, of course, Calgara. So what the leader does is if you have a Sky Island leader, you have to have a Sky Island leader. So the card is technically Calgara support, and it's a recurring heal. Okay, it's a recurring heal. When he swings, you can heal a life, which is huge, huge. Really good in Enel, decent in Calgara. And so I think that a lot of attention has been brought here. He was a very cheap leader, and he's had a lot of sales sitting around 30. I think anything $20 more than fair, just because it's possible, and it shows that they're cognizant that he's a Sky Island, because they could have just made it Enel. They could have just made if your leader is Enel, but they made it Sky Island, knowing that it also works with Calgara, and it also will give him Rush. So, huge day for Calgara players, because the card is really strong. And it heals you, which is huge. So it's like a 10-drop ace, but he can do it again. And he's not conditional, is the big thing. He can do it again, and he's not conditional. It only works in Calgara and Enel. So Calgara has seen a lot of value on his front. And now, like, again, these are some of the cards you play. I actually have just sold my Bonnie just because I'm just trying to downsize on cards. I do think this card's going to go up, though. Like, you can see the spike in sales here. She was sitting around 20, making her way back. I just sold mine for 17. You can see she was about 16, 17. So I was like, it is what it is. But I think this card, I don't know if it's going to be played because, like, Enel's biggest struggle is space because you're playing 12 10-drops. Now you're probably playing, like, 15 because you're probably going to cut something somewhere, but you're going to be playing like 15 top end cards. So it'll be really interesting to see if Bonnie still holds there, but with the ability, like, this is going to give you your value play. So Bonnie might be even more important to the deck. Only time will really tell. But I think this is one of those cards, if you play Enel, have this on your radar if you like to play max rarity. There's 2 Calgara. I don't know why. Nico Robin, Emperors in the New World. Click the link, YouTube video description. This is a new card. On play, you trash a life. Again, I don't know if this card has a spot in the deck, but if it does, I like it a little bit more. It's a Robin card, so you got like the waifu, the rumored alleged waifu tax. Wave 2 just hit too, so I think these are like the cheaper end of prices. There isn't any specific like thing here, but this is a very good turn 6 play for Enel, or 6 Dawn play. And so I really like it. I really, really like it. I think it's good. I think it's great. This card goes really hard. It's very good in Enel. Again, the biggest struggle with the deck is space. Like, this isn't like a quote staple like Bedge is. And so I don't know if this card should have a spot, but we'll find out. But I wanted to highlight this card because I think this is one of those. OP09 is pretty hype. A lot of the set's relatively cheap overall in terms of alts. And then a lot of them are going to get reprinted, so value's going to want to find itself somewhere. And we're looking around probably like May, I think, here. Like May, maybe it is even June and those reprints it. Like, the set wants to find value somewhere as other things devalue. I think this might be one of those cards. And of course, Katakuri. I mentioned this when PRB first hit. You can see an increase in sales. I think this card still has a spot in the deck, but this card was $40. This is going to be in like 6 months. We're talking 6 months, guys. So listen, 6 months. There's going to be 6 months of sales, and people aren't going to be opening PRB anymore. They just aren't. So this could easily make his way back up quite a bit. So I highly, highly encourage you. Again, I don't think he's going to be a 4 of in the deck anymore just because it's too top-endy, but pick up a play set. Pick up 3. If you don't have them and you've waited forever because it was expensive. I paid like 25s to 40s on mine. Like, this is cheap. This is cheap, and it's a really good card, and it's not going to be cheap forever. The reprints really helped it, but you can see volume starting to come back. Please don't sleep. And of course, Ace. Ace is very conflicting, but I still think you're going to play 4 of him because the new card is pretty much a better Ace, but Ace is still really good. You can see it's already $27, $28. I sold a couple of these. I highly regret it overall, but I know they went to good hands. I wanted cards to go to players' hands versus just me having them because I pulled like 3 of these, and I knew that this card was just really good. It's like the best generic yellow card because the one is for the new card is just for Sky Island leaders, but it's when attacking, not on play, so it gets around Blackbeard. And he gains Rush. So it's the same thing, but non-conditional. And then, of course, Nami. Nami's kind of made her way up to being expensive, sitting around $7. 2 legends. Not a lot of super rares from that set are really worth money. And, of course, Vegapunk is getting more support in EB01, or EB02, sorry. Vegapunk is getting more support, so this is a card I would also have on my radar. Pick up the playset because it could be an Enel if you want to play yellow, or if you want to play Vegapunk. The new card is very good. It's a bridge to value to find the plays that you want while also giving you a free blocker, which is very nice. Just kind of want to mention Jinbei. Jinbei's on his way back up. Jinbei was about $7. He hit about $7, slowly making his way back up. This format, of course, is expected to be dominated by Doflamingo. We're going to find out with Nats just next week, which is crazy to me. Just to think that I've been testing, I've been doing these events trying to get better. Nationals is just a week away. It'll be here before we know it. It's just something to keep your eyes on, because if Nats is very Jinbei heavy, I think we could really expect an uptick here. He was peaking around like $15 at one point, but now we're here, so it's not a bad price. Just something to keep your eyes on. And, of course, wanted to mention Laboon. Laboon's sitting at a crazy $30. If you were subscribed to the channel, I mentioned him around $2. I was like, right when Blackbeard was announced, I was like, this feels like it could be a really good card. I know some players are a little bit conflicted on whether this card is good now or not, but I do think that this leader is just very good. And then, of course, I wanted to mention Brook. Brook is finally down quite a ways from the peaks of 30. If you can get one locally, $15, I highly just encourage. This card's still pretty good. I'm sure he's going to have his moment. And then, of course, it's EB01. In the States here, we haven't really had just any EB01 restock since the set came out. And, like, the first initial second wave. Outside of that, there hasn't been anything outside of the Card Fest. So I think with Bandai Card Fest, we might see like a slight drop in just these EB01 cards. Slight, emphasis on slight. But last Card Fest, they did have EB01 for purchase at retail. If we see the same thing, a lot of people are going to buy it to rip it. Just because it's got literally the best super rares, and Brook is down quite a bit. So just something to keep your eyes on. But again, yeah, I think Brook 15 is a win. Now, why am I mentioning Zoro? Roa Noa Zoro. Why am I mentioning Zoro? This is just a speculation play. This is just a speculation. I think that the green-purple Luffy from the EB01 is going to have a lot of support. I think that this card is going to be searchable in that leader, because you can play it with Trafalgar Law, right? We're actually just going to do it. I don't really like cut and edit these, That's just my thing. Just because it saves me time. So we're going to take a look. The Law Searcher, can he find it? Because it's just one. Yeah, you can add one Straw Hat crew. So you can play the Searcher to find that Zoro. And I think that's going to be huge. Also, actually, we're still here. I'm going to mention this. But Rono Zoro, I think he's going to be a really good deck, especially if you can, or a really good card in the deck, especially if you can ramp. We are now looking for the film. Again, I'm just going to let this be how it is. But we're looking for the film. Yes. I'm going to mention this. I think this is pretty slept on for the most part. Again, a lot of people are kind of noticing, but we've got a green-purple Luffy. These aren't... He isn't biased. You can just play any film or Straw Hat. So you can play Brook and Brook into something else. Or you can play this and possibly play something else. I think this card's going to be a big card in that Luffy as well. I think we're going to see a return of the film package. So I think it's a great opportunity to pick this up. Wasn't reprinted. Doesn't have any other alts. And you can kind of see other people are kind of picking up on that too, because they've been picking up this card overall. And his price has been moving. So I want to mention this too. This and Zoro, because they're going to be searchable off of that lock, because he's green, purple. And you'll be able to use the ability. But yeah, I think both of these may be pretty relevant in that leader. And of course, I'm going to mention Jewelry Bonnie because red, green, or green, yellow law. Again, like, we don't know what's coming, but if you like max rarity, I think this is like pretty bottom of this card. If you like green just overall, I think it's not a bad pickup. Bonnie overall as a leader is just really good, and you're going to continue to play this. And EB02 introduces new cards that allow you to search your top end. So that's something Bonnie's never had before. And I think it gives you a reason to cut Baby 5. So I'm a big fan of this. I wouldn't buy it. I ain't got money like that. But if you click that YouTube in the video, that link in the YouTube video description someday, maybe I will. And then I just kind of want to mention Houndblaze. Houndblaze is kind of cooling off a bit, but Houndblaze is seeing a small amount of play in Usopp in OP10. So this might be a nice little pickup. You know, I do try to include a little bit of value here, but a lot of it was a lot of yellow gaming and whatnot, which is months and months away. But this card I think is pretty. And then of course Gum Gum Red Rock. I literally just mentioned this in my last video just under 2 weeks ago. I literally said buy this card. It is so good. You know, it's seeing a lot of play in BOA, and it's just the best answer for blue right now, and it's going to be even more so with the new Enel coming out. It's $60. I mean, there isn't a sale at $60, but somebody bought one for $50. I literally said I need to buy one of these, but I just, you know, I try to be very conscious with my spending, as should you. If you don't have money for shiny cardboard, I just, you know, if I don't have the money for shiny cardboard, I keep myself honest, and I'm like, okay, now it's $60. But if you had money for shiny cardboard, you're big winning. And I hope that it helped out. If it did, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I do videos like this all the time. And finally, the one-legged toy soldier. Again, these PRB alts kind of just go hard. I just wanted to mention this one because there isn't very many left. They're very hard to pull. You see Yamato, now you see one-legged soldier. Just doubles down on my beige theory. I'm probably going to buy one because I do have beige money. I just don't have red rock money. And now I definitely will just never have red rock money. And that's okay. But as always, if you found this video helpful, if you can just do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. It helps me out a ton. I make competitive One Piece content. I make just fun One Piece content. And I do these.